TriMet's business plan is a 5-year strategic plan that we update each year to make sure we're adjusting to changing situations. Why do we have a business plan? Because the world keeps getting more complex. We need a clearer view of the future and what we need to accomplish, especially in such a complex and challenging time as we have now, recovering from COVID and all the other challenges that we're addressing. So we need to develop and communicate a cohesive course of action to ourselves and to our stakeholders. We need clear priorities and an understanding of the resources needed to make progress. And we need to better define and align our efforts at all levels and across all divisions. Alignment means working together. One of the most fundamental things that TriMet does is our operators are in buses and Macs every day doing their best to provide safe and on-time service for our customers. But they're backed up by a host of people from trainers, transportation management, planning and scheduling, finance, information technology, field operations, bus and rail maintenance, service workers, purchasing in stores, customer information, and actually many more that aren't even listed here, like facilities management. And it takes all of those people working together, pulling in the same direction, aligned with their efforts to allow our operators to be successful each day. Basically, every good thing that TriMet does means that we have fewer resources to do any other good thing that we could do. So we have to be focused and strategic. The strategy map that you see laid out before you, and you'll see in conference rooms across the agency, is a way of organizing our goals for the business plan. These are long-term goals, things that we are trying to accomplish. They're in 4 strategic categories, looking from the perspectives of customers, from internal business practices, that is how we work together, from people and innovation, that is who we are and how we support each other, and from the financial bedrock that allows us to do the good work that we do. This sets the overall direction for our success. Our vision, mission, and values. These lay out what we want to accomplish, how we intend to do it. These were updated several years ago with input from almost 200 different employees across the agency. Our vision is that TriMet will be the leader in delivering safe, convenient, sustainable, and integrated mobility options necessary for our region to be recognized as one of the world's most livable places. Our mission is to connect people with valued mobility options that are safe, convenient, reliable, accessible, and welcoming for all. And our values of safety, inclusivity, equity, community, and teamwork. For each goal on the strategy map or pyramid, TriMet has at least one objective that helps define that goal and make sure we will define key strategic actions that help us move towards that goal. Under satisfied riders, there are objectives like provide safe service, increase ridership, and improve customer information and services. Under satisfied community stakeholders and employers, there are objectives like advance mobility for those with limited options. And under supportive broader community, there are objectives like ensure strong support for transit in internal business practices. Our goals to deliver safe, efficient, and equitable service include objectives like increase personal safety and improve service delivery. The goal to design and deliver successful projects includes objectives like develop higher capacity bus services. And the goal to conduct business practices that create value and spur innovation and continuous improvement include objectives like to reduce TriMet's carbon footprint. Under people and innovation, the goal to ensure a culture of safety has one objective: to successfully implement the safety management system across the organization. As we make progress on that, we may add additional objectives or replace this one with something else. The goal for TriMet to be where diverse and talented people want to come, stay, and thrive include objectives such as fostering a sense of community and cross-functional camaraderie, achieving agency affirmative action goals, and pursuing professional growth for all employees. The goal to foster service excellence and innovation has one objective: to foster employee innovation, including process improvements and partnerships. For the financial category, our goal to be fiscally sound and compliant has the objective to manage financial performance within strategic financial plan guidelines. The goal to manage assets to ensure safety and optimize value, performance, and resiliency has the objective to meet or exceed state of good repair targets for all identified asset classes. And the goal for financial capacity to advance regional expectations for service growth and quality as represented in the Regional Transportation Plan has two objectives, including to manage financial capacity to deliver regional expectations for service growth. Each goal in the business plan has at least one measure that helps us understand whether we're making progress. We report on the status of that measure in each business plan to understand how we are progressing. In the pages of the business plan and in this presentation, you will see three different symbols: a green star if the measure is on target or doing better, a yellow triangle if we are close but not quite there, and a red octagon if we are off target. Here are some selected measures from the plan. First, our average weekly fixed route boardings are down substantially, due of course to COVID-19 and the restrictions on activity from COVID-19. And you'll see the little graphic that looks a little bit like a COVID virus that indicates those measures that are substantially impacted by COVID-19. You'll see the measures of equitable distribution. This is a series of measures that make sure that we're providing our service equitably across the region to ensure that communities of low income or with high concentrations of persons of color are getting fair and equitable service compared to the rest of the communities. Our bus operating cost per vehicle hour went up 4.7% in a 12-month average compared to the previous year, which is higher than our target. But again, that has been infected somewhat by COVID-19. With reduced service, it was hard to reduce costs at the same speed, so our cost per hour went up somewhat. Our on-time performance on bus has been excellent at 94.1%. That, of course, is also impacted by COVID-19, which reduced traffic levels. And our collisions per 100,000 miles on bus is also down, which is also helped by reduced traffic levels. And then the number of enhanced transit bus corridor and or hotspot projects in development were 7. And that means that these are bus lanes, and signal adjustments that help buses get through traffic faster. Because the TriMet business plan is a plan that gets updated each year, and it has to be updated in concert and a little bit ahead of the budget, we start editing in the middle of the fiscal year. And we actually finalize the plan for the next fiscal year in March. But anytime you want to find the most recent business plan, just go to TriNet and see in the top of mind box somewhere in that list will be TriMet's business plan. Always with the business plan and with any effort at TriMet, we want to make sure we're building a learning environment. That's why we update the business plan every year. Though it's got a 5-year view forward because we're being strategic, we always have to learn from our experience and learn how we're doing in terms of our measures, and look hard at the measures that we're not doing well on, that we're not meeting our target, so that we can track progress and understand why that's happening and then adjust. We're looking for continuous improvement, learning from our successes and our failures to make us effective. So my ask of anyone that's watching this: encourage a receptive and learning environment for your team. Model it and encourage everyone to ask lots of questions. We update the business plan annually, and we're active on the business plan for much of the year. So you can see here in this calendar, starting July 1st, each new business plan takes effect. And we report during the summer the end of fiscal year results to the executive team and board. But as early as September, we are beginning to plan the next 5-year plan because we are seeking strategic direction from the board, confirming the strategic priorities and points of emphasis, and coordinating with the responsible staff for all the key strategic actions to make sure that we're making progress on the current year so that we can start to think about what the next year needs to say. In December, we are drafting and reviewing updates, and by January, in order to meet the target for making sure the business plan is finalized ahead of the budget, we need to present the draft business plan to the board at the January board meeting. That leads to a public comment period in February where the public and all TriMet employees can provide any comments that they wish. And then at the March board meeting, we present the final business plan to the board after having been approved by the executive team and the general manager. During the last quarter of the fiscal year, we work with the executive team for updates on all the key strategic actions for the current year and work to complete those key strategic actions by the end of the fiscal year so that as the new business plan takes effect, we're ready to start again. At any time, if you find yourself having questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me, Alan Leto, at this email address. You can also find my contact information and that of John Kitchens, who works with me on the business plan, at the bottom of the business plan website on TriNet. Thank you for the work that you do on behalf of TriMet and the people of this region, and thank you for helping us pursue our mission to connect people with valued mobility options that are safe, convenient, reliable, accessible, and welcoming for all.